Oh shit, we're live. What's up, guys? Let me know if you can hear this alright. Yes, a beautiful transition to blank screen. Thank you, Chris. Alright, so welcome to the first Horrorpla live stream. And as you can see, we're going to be working on like clays and shit today. And what to do with the different types. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead. Oh yeah, totally sick chair. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and say them in chat. I'll answer them as I go along. I don't know, this is Meg's chair. I'm just using it because she left it here, so... Oh well. Thank you, John, for the follow. Did you guys hear that torture sound okay? Yeah. Oh shit, that actually tells you what song is playing. Nice. Thanks for the follow, Frankie. Alright, so let's get started. You guys want to start with like the epoxy putties first or with like clays? Let me know. Let me know in chat. We'll see from there. What's easier? Definitely polymer clays are going to be easier. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so both of these are actually using polymer clays. I made the entire body of this guy out of clay. Little snakes are... Oh, that's going to get super annoying. Okay, so yeah, all this is polymer clay. This is actually super sculpty. God damn it, I should change that noise. Eric, what's going on? Let me know if the music's too loud, if you guys can't hear me or anything like that. Any sound issues, let me know. Alright, so let's get to it. Polymer clays. These are going to be clays like super sculpty. I have a couple different kinds here. I have Sculpey Primo, Super Sculpey, Sculpey, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Sculpey 3. Alright, so I don't recommend using Sculpey 3. It's really soft. It's good if you want to start with it, but I would definitely recommend the Primo Sculpey over Sculpey 3. It's just a lot harder, a lot easier to work with. This is kind of comparative to Play-Doh. We have Super Sculpey. This is my go-to. This is my favorite so far. Oh, that's right. Gotta be careful with the table. Alright, so we have Super Sculpey and we have Super Sculpey Firm as well. So these are actually going to be a lot cheaper. You get an entire 1 pound block. You can get it on sale at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, around 12 bucks maybe after their coupons. And this other type of clay that I just got in, I haven't had a chance to use yet. It's called Cos clay. Now it's similar to polymer clay, only I haven't even opened this yet. Only after you bake this, this actually stays into the kind of stays as a rubber thing, and you can bend it and stuff like that. Probably going to be working on this for on the next episode because I have some plans for this. I don't know if you guys know the satchel from Ava, so this is the model kit for it. As you can see, it's just a rubber suit over a skeleton. Where did I get that shirt I'm wearing? You can't get it anymore. These were for judges only at SCGMC. I swear, Frankie, if you use Nubscriber one more time.
You
I know, that's why that I should just ban that word in chat. Oh, I will, Frankie. I will. Okay, so basically this is a rubber suit over a skeleton. My plan is to take all the plastic bits that were over this. So it had armor pieces on the shoulder and on the face, stuff like that. I'm gonna reuse those, but I'm gonna completely resculpt this using this cosplay stuff. So this is supposed to have the consistency of rubber after it bakes, so you can bend the joints, stuff like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's probably what I'm gonna work on the next stream. So for now, we're just gonna be going over basics. I swear. One more. Next person to use subscriber gets banned. Fucking try me. Because I have nice lighting. That's why, Tabs. I actually spent like an hour redoing the lighting on this. Because sculpting, I can't do it top bottom. You're not gonna see jack shit on the stream. I'm using all the same shit. Okay, so we have another type of clay that I have used before. Actually, let me go grab that real quick. The kit I used that on. Alright, how many of you guys remember this guy? Just clear this out. This guy, Bled Beach. Okay, so this was the first time I've ever used... Well, it wasn't the first time I used epoxy, but this is the first time I used a clay for this. And I used... This is DOS air dry clay. So basically, all of the body here is made out of that. And I'll just tell you this, it sucks. Don't ever use it. Basically, you spend hours trying to smooth it out because... air dry clays are really just clay with a bunch of like paper fibers on it, so it's really lumpy unless you really spend time like smoothing it out. And yeah, the rest of this was epoxy putty, which I'll go into a little bit later. But yeah, I don't recommend using the DOS air dry clay. There are better options out there for that. Alright, 1 second, guys. Was a dark bump on the head intentional? That was not. I rushed the paint job on that because I didn't paint it until a day before it was due. I just catch up with the... Huh, I wonder why the full chat isn't showing up. It's a little weird. Oh well. I need to fix that for the next stream. Okay, so with polymer clays, when you're working with them, here's some tools. So basically, let me get some of this wire out. I'm gonna do a small sculpt right now. Oh, you're gonna watch me intently?
Why I eat.
Okay, so what you want to use is this aluminum wire. This is a bit textured. It comes in different widths. This one is called armature wire. I like using this because it's a little bit more pliable. You do need to reinforce it a little bit more though. So yeah, let's do a quick sculpt and I'll go over... Actually, let me go over the tools first. Alright, so we have the armature wire down. We have a floral wire, which you can use. It's a lot thinner. And we can use this to basically reinforce the armatures. So we'll come back to that in a bit later. Let's get to tools next for sculpting. Alright, so you're gonna have your obviously just flat metal blades just for cutting the clay once you roll it out. And we have various ball tools. So these are my balls, guys. My ball tools. You know, these come in various sizes. If you want to buy some yourself, just go to Amazon and look for sculpting tools. And you'll see a ton of these just laying around. So what's so cool about these is they're just little balls. And you can use this to actually start shaping clay. So, you know, just basically, let's try to do a skull here. So what you want to do is just, you can do indentations here. Okay, gonna have to work on the focus for next time.
Do you want something to drink?
I got mine, thanks. So next what I would do is go in with, you know, some of these little silicone tip tools. So as you can see, you know, they're just a little bit of silicone. They come in various sizes, like a point, this little rounded end there. So basically what you can do is go in and put in a line here.
You can't clear.
You sure?
Over here, sorry. You were up too far.
It's up too far. You know, we're just going quick and dirty with this, but yeah, so you can start getting the mouth parts. You can get the flatter bit here and kind of just force it just to push more clay out of the way. You know, and just smooth out the clay a bit. I can't zoom out. Pavs, this is as far as it goes. I need to set up my DSLR for this part here. Oh, I'll do that next time. Okay, so yeah, you can basically you can order them from Amazon. They're called, you can search for sculpting tools, they'll come up, silicone tip tools. Actually, let me zoom out a bit here. Bring that out. Doo-doo range, what are you talking about? You get the silicone tools, and actually these are some of my favorite tools. These are dental picks. So let me get this one out first. And obviously these are very sharp. This little picks that the dentist use on your teeth. So you can do this. You can actually get a lot more detail from this. So let's say you wanted to add some cracks to this. Just run it against the clay like that. You know, you'll get little bumps here. You can smooth those out. Yeah, I need to hook up my DSLR for this next time. But you can see here some of the details you put into that. So what I don't recommend is using some of the ball tips for that, because once you drag it over the clay, actually let me get a bigger piece here to get a better idea for this. You want to use a mushroom tip, Angel? Okay, so like, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I don't like using Sculpey 3. This is Sculpey 3 that I just brought out. It's a lot softer than the Super Sculpey. Makes it harder to sculpt, but this is just to show you guys an example of what to do here. So this is a bit exaggerated because I do have the bigger ball. Actually, let me try to fix that zoom before it bugs the crap out of me.
Dinner's on the stove, all set up for you, okay?
Okay. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay, so if you're going across like that, as you can see, there's a lot of buildup going around on the top and also on the front here, which is basically just pushing the clay out of the way. And then you have to deal with this little bit of, see how close can I get here? That little bit of hang off there, which is super annoying. But if you use an Explorer tool, basically it's just slightly, well, don't go at it straight from an angle like that, but let me just smooth this out real quick.
Someone wants to make an appearance on your first stream.
Yes, put him, actually see if he'll sit on my shoulder. He's just gonna fall. So, yeah, here we go. See, as you can see, it made that line. Did autofocus get turned back on? Alright, how's that, you guys? That good? Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot less clay that's being pushed out of the way, which gives it this really clean line. And the little bit that does come off, you can just smooth out a bit. See my big brown ball? So yeah, that's the difference between those two. These are the dental picks, and they come in various flavors. You can basically just look on Amazon and search for dental picks, and you know, this is like a 4-pack, or a probe set is also what they call them. So you can just look online, buy them there, and you're all good. Pretty cheap too. This was like $5, I think. And the next tool I have here, it's a little, forgot what it was called. Yes, I'm probing tan balls. Get your mind out of the gutters, guys. Or not. So this thing is called, it's basically a tool you can use to create little ribbons. Get this out of the way here. You can create little snakes of clay. So what you do is just grab a small bit of clay here. I'll do it in a bit. I'm gonna use it later. Shit. Okay, so they come with little attachments here, which, you know, various shapes. I'm gonna go ahead and use a little ball here, or a little cylinder. Just pop it on there, screw the cap back on. Put a bit of clay in there. And just squeeze. And that gives you a little snake of clay here. And trust me, this is a lot easier than rolling them out and trying to get it uniform. Like, what did I use it on? Shit. I used this on here the first time. As you can tell, all the little veiny parts are all pretty uniform. And before I had that tool, let me go ahead and grab this. Obviously this is a lot bigger scale, but the veiny parts are a lot less uniform, which is what I was going for this, but it wasn't intentional, basically. So that's how it comes out. Shit, gave up halfway through. Yeah, you can see that it's not as uniform here. Put this back. So yeah, you get the snake of clay here. I'm just gonna add this on here. It's a little example. And if you wanted to go for something less organic, you can go ahead and use the ball tool to blend them in, basically. And what you want to do is just go ahead and start working, basically just smoothing out the ends to the edges of the snake and just moving them down to the ball. You know, get something like this, which doesn't look that smooth, but you can also use the dental pick. You'll get a lot cleaner result from that. Grab the rounder one. Like you can see, that's a lot smoother than where's the other technique I was using here with the ball. This looks a lot more organic. A lot less uniform. What is this, Z? It's a stream. Show me your teeth. Thanks for the follow, Gambit. So yeah, those are just a little roundup of tools that you can use for that. And also, you want to do is grab something like this. This is just an acrylic rod. And you can use this to smooth out the clay. You making doo-doo? I am paying attention. Oh shit, I got raided by Palmo Build Report. I really need a second monitor for this because I can't see jack shit on the screen. Thanks for the follow, Goss Boss. You know, so you can smooth it out. And I totally lost that tool I had to cut clay. Oh. Here it is. You know, you can just use this to cut little strips. You know, obviously with the better clay, this is crappy clay. This is another reason why I don't like it. It gets stuck to everything. So yeah, don't use Sculpey 3 for sculpting. It sucks. Use Super Sculpey, it's a lot better. Palmo Build Report. Right now we're just working with polymer clays. So this is Sculpey 3. Don't use this. Use Super Sculpey instead. It's a lot better. This is what this is made out of. It's a lot harder to mess up. All right, so basically it. And also, if you ever, once you were done with a sculpt, you wanted to get rid of fingerprints and stuff, clay softener / thinner is like your best bet here. So basically all you would do, let me get a bunch of fingerprints on this. You grab a brush, do I have one here? I do not, 1 second. Fuck it, I'll just use one of these. Didn't I thank you? Well, thank you for the follow, Z. Even though I hate you. Oh, this is just an overview. Once you guys know all the little basics here, then we can get into sculpting shit like this. Scary shit. I lost my... No, this will do. Yeah, this will do. So, if you don't have this, you can also use something like baby oil. And all you do is just put a drop on there. It's gonna break down the clay. And just go over it until you see the fingerprints go away. Might use a little bit more. So as you can see, most of the fingerprints are off of that thing. You'd spend a little bit more time brushing it, but compared to something like that where you can definitely tell there's a bunch of more fingerprints there. Yes, use the baby oil on tan balls. No, it cannot heal plastic wounds. Whatever you do, do not use Sculpey directly on plastic. Any sort of polymer clay. They are oil-based, so they will melt the plastic it's on. I made the mistake of doing that on a kit, and it basically turned the plastic that was underneath very gummy. Grab a paper towel real quick. 1 sec, guys. So yeah, make sure you have a lot of paper towels during that step because that oil does get everywhere. I'm just gonna set that aside for now. It would Plamo, but the thing about polymer clays is you have to bake them. And it won't necessarily melt the plastic at the temperature you have to bake it. It will warp the fuck out of it though. So unless you want like really warpy stuff, go ahead. Okay, so we're set with the Sculpey stuff for now. Next up is epoxy resins. And you can use a lot of the same tools for this, just make sure to clean them off because this stuff will cure rock hard. No build plan report, do not bake models. It's a bad idea. Just don't. If you want to sculpt directly on a kit, use Magic Sculpt. Let me zoom out a bit more. This stuff is perfectly safe to use on plastic. So we have green stuff here. Basically, you just... Oh, holy crap, this is... As you can tell, I don't use this. Meg was the last one to use it. Just saying. If she's still in chat. Is it? But yeah, I don't use it. Works the same way, it's just a lot messier. I personally don't like it. I prefer other stuff to that. So let's just set that aside. Next up would be Magic Sculpt. So Magic Sculpt, this is basically comes in two parts. What you would do is you get some of part A and part B, the resin and hardener, and just mix them up together. And you have about an hour working time before it's not very pliable. So that's the thing about these. The epoxy putties, they all have a time limit of how long you can sculpt. Super Sculpey you can leave out for, you know, weeks at a time, stuff like that, and all you have to do is bake it to harden it. So one of my products was actually left on the table for about 3 weeks, and just went back later on and it was perfectly fine. I had to go and finish the sculpt. So Magic Sculpt is what I would use for stuff that needs low details. You know, this was the first time I ever tried sculpting. This is the Demon Bear, which I'm still working on, which I need to paint pretty soon, probably. And as you can see here, all the skulls were pre-made. I got those somewhere else, so don't pay attention to that. That's not part of the sculpt. I'm not messing up your workspace. Whatever. So as you can tell, this not really too much detail here. Like, this is a good example for the horn. This stuff is a lot softer. And you know, the details are a lot softer on this. So what I start using is, if I needed to build anything up on the model, I'd use the Magic Sculpt first to kind of, you know, have a baseline, and then I'd go in with the Procreate for the fine detail. This is a lot better to work with in regards to detail. Yeah, Julio, so many meat flaps. Meat flaps was actually made using the Magic Sculpt under for the you know, for the bulk of it, and then the details was used for Procreate. And the only thing I don't like about Procreate is absolutely horrible packaging. So it comes in 2 parts. The hardener and oh, well, that's ruined. And the resin. And yes, this is the one drawback. This stuff comes out of the plastic just fine. Yeah. You can tell this peels away pretty easily. The other stuff, though. I had to freeze this and then slowly work, get the plastic off of it. Well, it's not about holding better, it's about getting the plastic off of it. And this will get stuck to a Ziploc bag if you're not careful. So yeah, I pretty much gave up. Yeah, if you can tell, taking the plastic off of this is a bitch. So I'm gonna end up wasting about half of that anyway. So that's the one drawback. But you do this, you mix it the same way. You mix half and half. If you wanted to make it a little bit more organic, like what they suggest here. I don't know if you guys can read that. There we go. So the resin is the white, the hardener is the black, and depending on what ratio you mix them in, you know, can give you up to 3 hours working time to an hour and a half. And also the softer, more flexible. Like I like going with a darker mix, like the one up here. And this dark mix just makes it a lot easier to have organic shapes, which is the bulk of what I do here. Like I use a lot of it on the flaps. You know, and we'll get into that later on. So what you want to use here, you can use baby oil. I know Phil uses that. Phil builds stuff. But this is what I like using. This is the Green Stuff World Sculptor Vaseline. So let me get something made. Oh, yeah, and also this magic sculpt does look a bit gnarly if it's sitting around too long. Nice puke color there. So before sticking your fingers in that, oh, if you're allergic to this stuff, definitely wear gloves. I'm not allergic to this, so I don't really like using gloves, but if you are, go ahead and use some gloves. So what you want to do, grab a little bit. I'm not going to use a whole lot. I'm going to show you another tool in a bit here, the tentacle maker, the roll maker. So we're going to grab a little bit of that and a little bit of the resin here. You do want to mix equal parts. So need a little bit more of this. Okay, that looks about right. And just mix it. We're not doing hentai. Wait, is that you, Mike? Are you Gambit? Okay, someone mentioned hentai plot earlier. Can you hear the music okay on the stream?
I couldn't hear it
At all? Okay.
but it's okay. I don't think you need it because you're talking so much.
Yeah, for now. Okay, so, you know, that's mixed. Go ahead and let it sit for a couple minutes. Let me, always keep these close because you don't want, you know, gunk and stuff falling into it. And where is my... Here we go. The roll maker, the tentacle maker. You know, I bought both sizes, the normal and the XL. This is the XL plate. And these are the normal ones. So that's the size difference right there. So what you would do, set it up here. You have the bottom plate. Set that down on the table. Get a little bit of the Vaseline and just get the surface of that lube because you don't want the clay, the epoxy putty sticking to it. All right, Z, what would you have your panel on? Impress me. I might have a future in hentai plot. All right, this is a little bit too big, so let me shorten that up a bit. So you just stick that there. You can do the same size, but I like doing different sizes to get more texture on it. Just put it on there and then just roll it. This is what they call it, the roll maker. You can see different sizes get you different little textures here. Let me make a thicker one. You guys want to see a thick tentacle? You want to do a panel on community building. The King Simp here wants to do a panel. All right, message me after with like a little summary of what you do. Maybe I'll consider it. Yeah, so basically the lube from one plate will go on the tentacle and lube up the other plate, so you don't really have to worry about using it on both. If you use too much of it, it just all it does is slide on top of each other and doesn't really roll. So let me make one the same. You know, then you end up with something like this. Now this would be a good power cable, basically. And a good thing about these is you can use the flat side and just flatten that out a little bit. And then you have something more like power cables for all your Gunpla stuff. It's nice and thick and veiny. Let me catch up with Chad here. Alright, Z, if you want to do your community building panel, I will give you 30 minutes. Is that enough time? Meg is not getting a panel. Now, you could also mix them up a bit and maybe have little slots so you can put them in at an angle. This is where it gets crazy a bit. So you can use this as a guide. And you can get more organic shapes here. Like this one has like a cool cross stitch pattern to it. Z, no one's gonna be doing you on a panel. And if you flatten that out, oh, it doesn't really do much. Just ruined it. You get like this really cool cross stitch cable effect going. It's really all you have to do is just twist it around and make it more pronounced. How the hell do I have 14 viewers right now? Some crazy shit right there. So yeah, this is the tentacle maker. I'm gonna be using this a lot more later on. This is actually what I used to make these tentacles here for the pumpkin. And I'm actually gonna finish this up on stream a little bit later. Alright, so if anyone has any questions, go ahead. Meg, you do not want to do how to survive dating another hobbyist. That's a bad idea. Okay, so Magic Sculpt, you have up to an hour to work on it. You know, after an hour, you can still move it around a bit. It won't pick up fingerprints as much, but it will become more resistant to you moving it. So like in about an hour, if it's in this pose and I try to straighten it out a bit, it will make its way back into that pose I just had it on. We're here for the thick and veiny tentacles. Oh, okay. Supporting our friend. Julio, not Freddy. Julio. I'm here supporting Julio too. Actually, let me go ahead and make some more tentacles here, since I have the putty. This is the thing about using Super Sculpt, Magic Sculpt. There's also something called Epoxy Sculpt, which I know Brian Bro Builder uses a lot. Which tentacle texture is my favorite? I'll get back to that in a bit. Actually, my favorite would probably be what I just made for the pumpkin here. This does look more plant-like, which is what I was going for, like veins going through eating the pumpkin. So yeah, let me bust out the bigger one here. Nubbered plamo sounds like it would hurt. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think they're about 15 bucks on greenstuffworld.com. Just go there and search for Roll Maker. Both of them should come up. So let me just lube up the plates here. Nah, Julio, you can buy it yourself. Or borrow it from Brian, he has one. Just borrow it and never give it back. Because I know he used his on the flea that he worked on to make some cables for that. They're always on sale. Just roll it. You could always put more pressure to make it bigger and to make the indents bigger. And you get this cool tentacle thing. No, Chris. This is mine. Alright, so yeah, you get some cool tentacles like that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a short break and clean all this up. Then I'm going to come back and finish working on this little pumpkin here. I'm going to be applying some mud effects to it and just making the base a little bit nicer. So yeah, I'll be right back. And we're back. Who's still here? Alright, so we're gonna work on this guy here. So, this is mostly finished. This is actually a really cool effect. Where's the flashlight here? Hopefully this comes out pretty good here. I have some fluorescent paint on that to make that green really glow. Further away, there we go. So, to get that effect, what you want to do... Yes, longest break ever because I was hungry and I needed to eat a little bit. So what you want to do is, basically the fluorescent green is very transparent, so you can't spray this directly on this. What I did is I sprayed white first on all the areas that I wanted to glow. And take into effect that, if this part glows, then it's going to hit the branch a little bit here, so I hit that with white as well. And same thing with the tentacles. I can't take them off anymore because they're pretty stuck there. But they all have like a little bit of glow under them coming from the inside here. And then all the green black stuff is actually called Horrorpla. It's similar to True Blood here, but it's green. I don't know where it's at, so I need to find it, which is fun. It's here somewhere. I'll find it eventually. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is put this aside for now. We're gonna work on the base here. So I already went through and did a wash. This was pine color wood. I already did a wash to get this like a darker brown here. What I'm gonna do next is add a little bit of a dry brush to bring out some of the more details. Nah, dinner was still warm. So I'm gonna start off with a little bit dark brown. And for dry brushing, the best brushes to use is these little makeup brushes. No, I did not steal them from Meg. So to dry brush, you just put some paint on the brush there. Then you want to get as much of it out off of the brush. In this case, I want to go a little bit heavy here, so I didn't take off that much. And you just start brushing. And you really can't tell with this color because it's a pretty close match. Alright, let's try a different color here. Let's try the mahogany. Okay, so mix that up pretty well. There you go, it's a lot better. So you don't want to brush too hard, you just want to hit the edges and just bring out some of the details. Yeah, Pabs, that's a Meg thing. I have to do it most of the time because she doesn't like cleaning it. So I'm not sure if you can tell, you're getting like this mahogany color over the raised edges here. More here. Okay, so next I want to add a highlight color. Get this brush clean off. And obviously when you're washing a brush while dry brushing, you want to get that as dry as possible for the next color. Hey, I ran it for 6 minutes right after Pabs told me the other day and it did not blow up. So, yeah, Chris, you're wrong, admit it. Okay, so that's mostly dry. So next I'm going to come in with this off-white color called Buff. Now you don't need a lot. I'm going to end up getting most of it off of the brush. This was supposed to be no lyrics. Okay. So I'm gonna get most of it off. And if you're having a hard time telling how much you've already gotten off, a good trick here is just to brush it onto your hand. And you should just see barely any paint. Like, this is supposed to be a highlight color, so I don't know how well that comes up on camera, but we're gonna try it on the wood block here. Let me know if you guys can't see that. On to the next side. Keep the setup like this? Alright. It's gonna have a DSLR though for next time. Okay, always a good way to test down here. Okay. So you're just going over this lightly, so that it's just hitting the edges. Rampaging Wampa, thanks for the follow. Alright, so just hitting all the highlights here. Alright, and that part is done. So you can see there's a lot more dimension to this. All the highlights have been hit. Let me know if you guys can't see this. This is only like a fifth of my screen right now. Actually, can I make that bigger? No, I cannot. Okay. Okay, so next part is the fun part. We're gonna add some mud effects to this for the top. Now, this is basically going to glue this onto this piece here. What I want to do first, though, is... You know how pumpkins have that weird texture on the bottom sometimes? I want to add a little bit of that to this pumpkin here. I'm gonna go with the... Actually, how dark is this? Okay, this works. So what I'm gonna do is stipple this onto the bottom here. Just gonna grab a little bit of paint on the brush, take some off, and just stipple it on. And this color matches pretty close to the mud texture, so it all works out here. Okay, that is good enough. So you can, I don't know if you guys can see that well, but it gives it a nice bit of dirty look to the bottom of it. Let's set this aside real quick. Onto the mud effects. Clean off that brush a bit. So what I'm gonna do is, this stuff is pretty thick. You know, it's basically a paste here. So what I'm gonna do is grab a nice glop of it and just stick it on there. And I'm just gonna work it around. Now it is a little bit hard to stick onto the wood because I don't know what it is about this wood, so I'm just going through and just giving it a nice flat coat around the edges so that it stays down. And then I'm working out the bigger glops here. Where's Julio? This really does look like doo-doo. So I'm gonna go ahead and work out the stuff to the edges, closer to the edges here. All this doo-doo, and I'm just gonna get a bit more because I do want that to be thick because I am gonna have worms coming out of it as well. Actually, before I forget, let me just put these in some sort of shape. And we'll check on them at the end of the stream here. Okay, back to this. Now this has been sitting around for a while, so it's a bit hard to work on. Okay, well that's good enough. Now I'm gonna find the best looking rock face here. This looks good. So next step is cleaning off my hands so I don't get any more junk on the pumpkin. And stick it down. Okay, so this will essentially work as a glue to hold it down on the kit here. Let me clean off this brush before I forget. So that's on there. Now I'm gonna go through with a little one of my silicone tools. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pat some of this stuff down so it doesn't look like it's like little spikes coming out of the ground. Put that flat a bit. Because we still need to put down some worms as well. Okay, so now we're gonna put in the worms. One down there and one here. Kind of flatten that down.
I know, I'm coming over here how you do in my stream.
Can I help you?
And I'm just here to bug you.
Ah,
for
okay.
Pointless reasons.
For pointless reasons?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is done here.
That's why the lighting's better.
There we go. Now that looks all nice and organic. I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry a little bit more. And then eventually when I find the green orc blood, I can go ahead and paint these to match those better. Hmm?
No, it's not in the jar. I think I saw some green one in one of these.
When? No. No, I just used it the other day.
Yeah, I know, I just saw it.
The orc blood? Yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot them off.
I'll let you find it. It's in one of those red bottles, though, right?
No, it looks just like...
I mean, the black bottle. Like with the red label.
Yeah, but it's green.
I swear I just saw it.
I'm losing my paint.
I didn't use it, so.
Okay. Let me clean this off real quick.
Do you want anything? I'm probably gonna go later.
No, I'm good. Don't fall. You see Meg? She's gone.
Huh?
What? Z sees you. Fun times. Okay, so that's all said and done for that one. Next, I'm gonna start on some actual sculpting now. Clean that off. Okay, so I've been playing a lot of WoW lately. And they have these monsters that have basically just eyeballs with tentacles around them. So I'm gonna build one of those.
Babe, sorry, I'm turning on the ice machine.
Okay. So I have these little glass eyes. They're called glass cabochons. And I just need a cool eye here. I don't know what I'm picking yet. I think I'm gonna go with the red one. So let's get started on this. Go ahead and grab some super sculpey for this. You like the blue? The only issue is I'm gonna paint the rest of it kind of a blue color, so I don't want to have like the same colors going. I want something to contrast. So I'm gonna go ahead and reuse this clay from earlier. And where is... Yeah, fuck it, let's use this clay, the shitty clay. So what I'm gonna do is grab some parchment paper. Not parchment paper, these little silicone sheets here. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this as the base. What happened?
You made the pudding.
I did make the pudding, I told you earlier.
I know, I wanted you to wait because I wanted to eat it warm so I could put milk in it.
Warm pudding?
Yeah, it's really good.
Uh,
Warm pudding and then you put some milk and it's like you just...
Alright, who thinks warm pudding is the byproduct of Satan? Chat ring in.
Really good.
No, doesn't sound good at all. So I'm using this as a base. I'm gonna go ahead and stick the eye over that. Don't worry about getting fingerprints on this. You can clean it off later. Get that going. Just change the angle a bit here. There you go. So this would be where one of the tentacles comes out. And let's have one coming out on this side. Yeah, pudding needs to be good, cold. No one's agreeing with you, babe. Just gonna reuse the rest of this crappy clay as filler. So when you're first using clay, it could be a little hard. What you want to do is condition it, which is basically just kneading it until it becomes soft. Okay, for that one, and then one more. Let's put it on this side here. Alright, so next what I would do is, since tentacles are going to be coming out of this, I'm going to go ahead and cut some armature. Get my cutters here. Probably gonna, we'll see how long I make them. Just gonna cut off some pieces. just gonna stick them in. All right, see you later, Eric. Thanks for stopping by. And I'm just gonna build up a little bit more clay over the base here, just so it's something to grab onto. A little bit more support here. Okay, so now that I have that there, I had a paper towel somewhere, and oh well. Fuck it. So I'm gonna use this clay here. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it out so I got a sheet of this. Actually, I'm going to cut off a little bit here. I don't like this song at all. Oh, where did that go? This is losing tools left and right here, guys. Alright, see you later, Z. Fuck off. And you better have a good presentation for me for that panel or else it's canceled. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this into sections here. And I'm just going to poke it through here. Alright, I'm just gonna get a little bit more clay here. And like I said earlier, this stuff is a lot harder than Sculpey 3. This is the Super Sculpey I'm using. It's actually a lot harder to knead. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll it out again. Get a nice sheet going, and I'm gonna cut off some more pieces from this. And I'm gonna go ahead and just cover the crappy clay with the better clay. Okay, now that we have all the clay on there, we can go ahead and start sculpting some details here. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the ball here just to blend everything together. And it doesn't have to be perfect right now. This is basically just a rough sketch. This is just you getting the rough shape you want. A little bit more clay here. And the silicone tool is pretty good at getting between the glass and the clay here. Actually cleans off that glass pretty well. flatten that out and then go in there. And I'm actually going to use this on the bottom here as well, just to separate the edges from the bottom there. And it's always a good idea to have a reference of what you're working on. Let me pull that up real quick. Well, can't find it, so I'm just gonna wing it. Okay, so this is the top here. And I still need to add some eyelids to this thing here. I'm gonna go ahead and just shape this a little bit. Thanks, Shinobi. The chibi was made by Corey, Lynx 53 Designs. Always has great stuff. Alright, now I'm gonna make some eyelids. Actually, I might need them a little bit thicker. Now we're just blending them in. And I'm just going back with the silicone tool to shape that a little bit more. Okay, now that I have a good idea of where I'm going with this, go ahead and add some. Actually, I'm probably going to cut a few of these short here. Shumagara. This is actually based on something from WoW. I don't remember the exact name. Basically, in this game, there's an old god, which is kind of like Shumagarath, and has these little things popping off everywhere because it's trying to invade this world. There we go. And I'm gonna build tentacles around that. Only don't want this that long. Alright, so now we're adding the clay to this. Alright, so this is what I have so far here. Now to kind of define the tentacle some more. Thank you, Shinobi. All right. Okay, so now that I have the basic shape of all the tentacles down, actually let me change this a bit. Add a little bit more bulk on the bottom for some of these. Okay, I think that's good for the tentacles. Now let's add some details to them. So I'm gonna roll out the really thin roll of clay here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just start adding them to the tentacles here. Start at the bottom here. Alright, now I'm gonna flatten them out a bit. And I'm gonna add some to the bottom here. Alright, and now I'm gonna go ahead and take one of the dental picks and blend those in. Let's use the bigger one here. Alright, see you later, Plamo. And Meg, I'm building whatever I want, alright? Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and save this for next week, but yeah, this is what I have so far. Weird tentacle monster thing. Probably gonna turn this into a fridge, but we'll see. Oh yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by the stream. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Alright, thanks guys.